Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining and welcome to another episode of Wealth Building Conference. My name is Oludare Fasola. I'm going to be your host and your guest speaker today. Um, I want to say thank you for the people that have been joining. We started this program a couple of weeks ago, and it's almost a month right now. We want to make it habit on every uh, Friday. We do meet, to open our eyes to important topic in life insurance, anything about sales, right? We do share that on Friday. And on Saturday, we also, focus on medical professionals and business owners on how they can actually build wealth. So today we're going to be looking into another important topic in sales. And before we go into that, I want you to please, as soon as you join, I want you to please type your name and where you are joining from, wherever device you are using. Just as you are coming in, please type in your name and where you are joining from, so that we can actually know where you are joining from. Again, I also want you to please share this link with friends, family members, colleagues who is looking to scale, right? Especially those that are looking into high ticket sales. So please share the link with them. It's free. I mean, you are not paying for this webinar. So don't be selfish. Try to share this with friends, families, and colleagues. And of course, I also want to let you know that this is going to be an interactive session, right? So I'm not here to just talk to you. I'm here to share my knowledge, my experience, and I also want your feedback. If you have any question, if you have any contribution or any suggestions on how we can make this webinar better, I really want to please, type that in the comment section so that we can improve as we move forward. Once again, thank you for joining. My name is Oludare Fashola. I will be your host and your speaker tonight. So let's quickly dive into the topic of today. So this particular topic is very, very important for those that are looking to scale, like I said, looking into high ticket sales. We I've been in this business for a while, and I've learned a lot of things, especially when I started looking into high ticket client. I've learned a lot of things, and I feel that sales agent out there, whether you are selling coaches or insurance or real estate or mortgage, there are some things that you need to understand, and this is actually costing you thousands and millions of dollars every year. So we want to see how we can bridge this gap, bring help people, open their eyes to different ways of closing, and see how they can also, close more of high ticket. When I say high ticket clients, we are not talking about, maybe $5,000 sales, 10,000. So we are talking about sales running to millions of dollars. That is the kind of sales that we're talking about, and we're going to be looking at that in our webinar today. So let me quickly pull up my slide. We'll go into the webinar. So like I said, please, as soon as you join, I want you to please type your name and where you are joining from. Again, share this link with friends, families, colleagues that if that are looking to scale. So please don't be selfish. This is a free webinar. Share the link with them, invite them to join, and you can join from any device, from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram, right? So you can actually join from there. So I want to say thank you for joining. So let's quickly look into today's topic. Today's topic is closing sales, the three sales techniques that work across every high ticket industry. Now, there are sales techniques that work across every high ticket industry, and like I said, it's not about sales is has some salient code that we sales if you are in sales, you need to master it and understand how to apply those strategies into your business. So we're going to be looking at that today, right? So let's look at what is a closing style now. So The sales is about guiding a client to take an action, right? So a lot of us, we look at sales as just meet someone and sell, like you offer something and the person accept to pay you an X amount of money. Sales is beyond that. Now let's look at closing style. Now, your way of guiding clients to decision. So you as a sales agent, what is your role? You are guiding a client to take a decision. All right. So again, as you are doing that, there is an informed by psychology, tone, and timing. Now, when you are presenting an offer, all right, there is a way, there is psychology behind the tone, the way you present the offer, and the timing of the offer, right? I don't know whether you've imagined this in the past, like you are trying to close a deal and the client is telling you that, look, this is not the right time for me. And you feel bad because probably you've spent a lot of time on that client. And the client at the end of the day say, look, this is not the right time for me. Now, as a sales, as a high ticket closer, you should understand that timing is very important when it comes to sales. Everybody say timing. Put it in the comment chat. Timing. Now, when we are talking about timing, timing is about you understand the person you are presenting the offer to know that this the right time for that person to take immediate action. Now, let's say for example, you are selling a certain product and the client is going through some certain maybe financial problem, or maybe financial challenges or psychological problems. Some people might be actually going through some marriage issues, financial issues. Excuse me. You need to understand that timing is essential when it comes to closing. Now, blend of strategies and authenticity. Now, when you are looking at sales, okay, you are blending the strategies and authenticity of the product and you. Now, when you are selling, okay, when you are closing, okay, you apply strategies and you have to be real, you have to be authentic. What you are pitching to the client must be genuine and connect to that particular client. Now, we're going to look at the three ways. We're going to look at the three winning closing styles. We're going to look at the consultative closer. We're going to also talk about the directive closer, and of course, look at the storytelling closer. All these have different strategies of presenting them when you are closing. And we're going to use different industry, okay, practical example to illustrate how you can apply these strategies. Okay, everybody type closing styles. So because the way you close in insurance is different from the way you close when you are selling mortgage. The way you close when you sell mortgage is totally different from the way you close in real estate or coaching. So, but if you don't understand the different way, the dynamics surrounding different way of selling a certain product, you'll be leaving money on the table. And you are not supposed to struggle when it comes to sale, right? Sales can be very sweet when you understand all these codes. Everybody type code. If you understand the code, right? Think about code. Code is where it's something that unlock, right? So if you don't have the code that unlock, you can't close. And you will be struggling and you feel that the client doesn't want to buy. It's you that does not apply the right code. Let's look at the consultative closer. Everybody type consultative closer. What does that mean? Number one, act driven style, client question revealed needs. Now, when you are using these particular strategies, a code to close high ticket, okay, you use client questions to reveal their needs. For example, if you are talking about insurance, for example, Okay, you want to understand your client's need before you can recommend a solution or a, a product that fits that particular client. And this can actually be extracted from the questions you ask your client. As you know, the way you ask your client, the more you ask client questions, it will reveal what the client really want. Let's say, for example, you're asking a question: how much is your income? Do you have credit card debt? And the client is telling you, okay, I have X amount of in credit card debt, a lot of money on credit card debt, a lot of money on line of credit, car loan, personal loan, um, maybe school loan and all of that. And you realize that the client has a lot of huge debt, right? So technically, you as an advisor or a solution, you that you want to guide, you want to help that particular person, you should know that this particular person need help when it's about this debt. So you should be able to connect directly to the need of that particular client, looking at asking him those questions. Because when you ask questions, you are getting more information about what is the problem that the client is actually looking to solve. So this is the first thing you need to do when it comes to consultative. Now, it's actually best for coaching, insurance, and mortgage. And the reason why it's actually good for this type of business is that, the more question you ask, the more it is easier for you to extract the pain point of that particular client. Because if you don't ask the right question and you don't know the client pain point, there is no way you'll be able to recommend the best solutions that will fit or solve that particular client problem. Now, the approach is that you identify it, present tailored solution. Now, let's give, for example, you ask a client, okay, what exactly is your main financial needs? And the client is telling us, okay, I want to protect, I'm actually looking to leave legacy for my children, or maybe I'm looking to maybe put set additional money aside for my retirement, or it all depends on what the client. We are talking about insurances this time around, all right? And if it is mortgage, for example, and the clients, you're asking questions, okay, what are you looking for? What type of mortgage are you looking for? The interest, is it fixed? Is it variables? And what is the range? So these are the things, because the more question you ask, the more it is easier for you to identify what the client is looking for. All right. Now let's go further. The consultative styles in action. Let's look at some of the questions now. The consultative styles in action. Ask powerful question like, for example, what's your biggest concern about your family future? This is something that once you ask them, right, once you ask them the question, you stop and let the client talk. You don't ask question and you start talking, right? You've asked the question, let the client tell you, okay, my biggest concern about family future is if critical illness struck, I should be able to have at least some money in order for me to sustain myself until I recover. Or maybe if life happen, I don't want to leave any debt for my family, or I don't want to leave any form of liability for them. So this is one thing. Once you know that, right, it now depends on so you will now recommend the right product that will fit that particular client needs. Now, again, present aligned solution. Here is a plan that align with your long-term goals. So once a client asks, okay, now you are looking for something that will give your family legacy. All right. So we have been able to come up with these particular solutions, and this will help you, okay, to give your family legacy. So not once you ask question, you make sure that you recommend a product that fits the client need, not what you think it's good for them. Because most times, right, we feel that we can sell what we like to high ticket closer. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to recommend the product that actually align with their goals, whether short term, long term or uh, uh, immediate goal. We need to understand that. Again, it actually builds trust through value. Solution connect directly to the client value. So when you present what actually fits or meets their goal and solve their problem, you actually build trust. You become more referable. Client to trust you more because why? What he is looking for, you've been able to align the problem that the client has with your recommendation. And most times we don't see agents doing this. We feel that, oh, client is looking to do this. This is what I feel that is going to match the client needs. And you go ahead and recommend wrong solutions to that particular client. It doesn't work that way. You must make sure that your solution connect with the client's needs. Let's go further. This is the direct closer, okay? The direct closer, right? The directive closer, right? To the point, discussion oriented approach. And this is an example of, you can use this in real estate, mortgage, and high ticket items. And the methodology is this: it's late process, give clear recommendation. For example, if you are a real estate agent and you want to sell house, okay, you make sure, right, you give the right, okay, what type of house are you looking for? Okay, I'm looking for semi-detached, 3 rooms, maybe a single garage with with whatever. He will tell you the features of the what he is looking for. You now go ahead and give a clear recommendation based on what the client tell you. You don't just, a client is telling you, I need a single detached, single garage. You go ahead and show the client double garage detached because you feel that it is cheaper. That's not what the client is asking for, right? Your client is asking you to give them, this is what I'm looking for, right? Whether it is cheap or not, whether it is makes sense to you or not, this is what I'm looking for. Give me what I'm looking for. And a confused mind never buys. Clarity closes. If you are not clear enough on what you are presenting to your clients, you can never close. And this happens a lot in sales, right? You just want to sell something that does not align with the client. So sometimes I've seen it, a lot of times I've seen agents recommending a product that the client does not really want just because they just want to sell. Client can feel that. Client can feel that because once you are doing this because of the commission, once you are doing this because you just want to make money, the client can feel that. Don't make them confused. Make sure you clarify. Make sure you give details, clarity of what the client is looking to buy. And in that way, the client will understand the reason why you are recommending a certain product to them. Now, the directive styles in action. Number one, take charge statement. Based on your needs, this is the best options. Let's move forward. Now, when you are doing a directive sales, in high ticket close, right? You have to be very straightforward and direct. You place your recommendation before them, and that is after you've go through some various options. Okay, based on we have seen this, we have seen that, but based on what we have seen so far, this is my best recommendation for you, and this is the best option for you. Now, let's proceed. The client will know that you have done your due diligence before you make that recommendation. See, you cannot just take a client to uh to to a certain product and say this is the only thing you need to buy at this moment. It doesn't work that way, especially when you are in a real estate, for example. Okay, client must have please seen different options before they can now say, okay, this we have seen this one. You can see this one is this is big, this one is a bit medium, this one is a bit bigger than those ones, but you can see this location. This location is very good compared to that location, but at least you can see school, you can see other amenities and all of that. So I feel this would be the best option for you because your family is there. Whenever you want to go to train station, very close to train station, close to highway, and these are some of the things that the client want to do. But that you must have done your due diligence. You must have go through different recommendation before you can now say, okay, based on what you have been seeing so far, this is the best option for you. Now, the next step is this is directed to you must create an urgency. Now, we can lock this rate now and start protecting your asset. Now, for example, if you are selling insurance, right? You present your recommendation, you present everything, and you say, look, um, this is the best time. Let's lock this rate right now because if you wait till next year, you're going to pay more, right? Or even if it is real estate, now the market is this is the buyer market right now, right? I feel at this moment, we can lock in this price right now because if you delay it, if you come back next month, the market might be, high again. So, you have to create an urgency immediately. You choose your recommendation, you recommend the options, you feel that it meets their needs and their budget. Now, project authority, inspired action through confident expertise. Now, you need to demonstrate expertise when you are doing high ticket sale, right? Now, this is how to do that, right? You must show them different options, right? If, for example, you are selling insurance, right? You show them different products. This is whole life insurance. This is how much you're going to pay if you take this product. And the reason is because this is guaranteed. This have this feature. This has this feature. You show them another type of insurance. This is a term insurance. Of course, this one is just like a pure level cost of insurance. There's no any more cash value. It is cheaper, and this is actually best if you are looking to cover a known risk. And this is other type of insurance, which is a universal life insurance. This one is, it has this feature, it has this benefit. See, client will trust your judgment when you demonstrate expertise, right? Make sure that anytime you are in a high ticket sales, right, demonstrate expertise. Now, speak like an authority in your field. The reason why they buy from you is because you sound very, very confident when they're asking you a question, when you are presenting the solutions to them. Because, this is what happened, right? Clients buy you before they buy the product. So if they don't see that confidence and they don't see that expertise, they're not going to close, especially high ticket client. So you must make sure that you talk with confidence. Now, let's look at the third type of sales, which is the storytelling. Everybody says storytelling closer. The storytelling closer. So the storytelling closer, this is a type of closing that actually it has to be relatable now. So when you as using this type of approach, you must create emotional, all right? You must be emotional and it must be a memory approach. Let me give you an example. Anytime I'm presenting to a client and it's get to when a client is telling me, oh, I'm going to think about it, oh, I'm going to maybe next, I will get back to you next month. I will share my story. I will share a story of some people that I know, like without mentioning their name, okay, that they fail to take immediate actions that it actually boomerang at the end of the day. Let's say, for example, I have a client, we presented to him one day. After everything, the client say, oh, well, I'm going to get back to you. Let me check my budget. I'll get back to you, right? The following week, the person that introduced him to me said, look, that client, unfortunately, had a stroke. And of course, he couldn't get this plan again. Imagine that. So if you delay, it could be dangerous, right? Make sure you tell a story that is relatable. Okay. Your story must connect with what you are trying to sell to that particular client, especially when you are talking about high ticket closing. Don't tell a story that is not relatable. Tell a story that actually connects with your your client, what you are actually presenting to them. I've had a chance of meeting a client. I presented to the client, and the client tell me, so I'll get back to you. Years back, I was called to, somebody just called me and said, no, Mr. Fashola, the person that we're trying to meet, so they has just passed. Reason being because this person delayed, right? So these are emotional stories that connect, right, with that particular client. And if it is coaching, right, you probably might say, okay, if you fail to take action, right, you are leaving money on the table. People that take this kind of actions, their time spent better, maybe 2, 3, 4 months after. And they are doing much more in terms, their finances is fine, their life is okay and all of that. So you must be able to relate, okay, stories with what is actually happening at that particular moment. Now, the core philosophy is this, right? Fact tells, but story sells. Now, if you are showing statistics, okay, 1 out of 2 Canadians will have critical illness at old age, but that is just a statistics. But when you tell a story, if somebody who has a critical illness and does not have a critical illness insurance, the consequences can be extremely severe. It can wipe out your savings of so many, many years. They will quickly take actions, right? Now, this type of strategies is ideal for coaching, insurance, and brand driven sales. Now, if you are in this type, if you are using these strategies, you must, at least, it is actually good for coaching, insurance, especially in people that are into insurance. Stories sells, like it sells like magic if you present it in an ideal way. And see, when you are presenting your stories, don't use, language that will make the client to feel that, oh, are you telling me that I'm going to die tomorrow? Instead of using debts, you could probably say maybe life happen and things like that. So, don't create it in such a way that if they don't do it, they are going to die tomorrow or something like that. No, you don't need to do that. Just make sure that you present it in such a way that the client will feel that if I fail to take action today, the consequences might be extremely, extremely severe. Now, key techniques: use real life client stories. Like I said, don't mention client name. Okay, you probably might use, like I've shared 2 stories right now, because why? You cannot just continue to share people's informations in the public, right? So make sure it's just something that you just say it, right? And the client can actually connect. The point is that you want the client to connect with what you are actually presenting to them. Now, let's look at the styles of telling the story. Now, this is one of the styles. One of my clients, just like you, faced the same decision. Like one of my clients, right, failed that same decision. For example, I have a client who did not take, I showed the client, this is a life insurance, X amount of dollars, and the client feel that no, this is not what I need for now. After a while, things happen, the client could not get it again, and at the end of the day, the family faced financial difficulties. This is one way to present it to the client. So when you are creating story, right, the story must relate to what you are presenting to them. Show transfer. Let me show you how this transformed their peace of mind. Now, let me show you how a client of mine get a critical illness or life insurance, and that actually give them peace of mind. Just by, it doesn't really matter, okay, what you are doing to them, right? What they want to hear is that the story, it must create some form of urgency for them to take quick action. Because why? If you don't put it in a way that will connect with their emotion, they are not going to take action. They are not going to take action. So it must show a quick transformation from where they are and where you want them to be, right? Okay, you want to lead this person to take action, right? you must make sure that your story is relatable. Now, make abstract concrete story turn concept into real world example. If you tell stories, right, it makes people to feel that this is real. If I have a client who has a cancer, and we process critical illness for that client, and the client come back and say, look, now I can feel the importance of protections. I can feel the reason why I need to tell everybody now to get protection, especially critical illness. Because why? We never, when it's, if it doesn't happen, we don't really look at it that as something that is important. But once it is happened, right, and you have it, you can feel that piece of, you can feel the joy of protection. And that is what we need to let them know when you are in using a storytelling, right? Make it real. And of course, it is totally real. I've seen a client, okay, I've seen people that does not have life insurance, and they have to cover thousands of dollars for final expense. I've seen people that fail to plan for their retirement, and their retirement is extremely miserable. So this is something that you need to share with them so that they can connect with, look, so if I didn't take immediate action right now, it means that my retirement is going to be like that. Of course, if you don't take action right now, your retirement will be like that. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is that I can tell you one, two, three, four of my clients that failed to take actions today. They are regretting it. They In fact, they feel that if they can turn back the hands of time, like if I had known, I would have done it when they are telling me. So you need to make sure that let those stories relate to what you are showing them. Now, when to use each style. So there are different styles and there are ways to use them. Now, everybody just say each style, type style. Now, this is client type, and this is the best style you can use for them. If you have an analytical client, right, the best approach to use is consultative. Everybody type analytical. If you have an analytical client, some clients, they like to analyze things a lot, right? Make sure that you use consultative for them. If they're assertive, right, use directive. And if they're emotional, right, use storytelling. And you know the reason why you are using storytelling for emotional people, right? People that are emotional, they quickly want to take actions when you tell them a story of something that happened to a client who does not really take actions, and they'll be like, oh, if I didn't do this, what's going to happen to me, right? So let's go and let's look at how you can blend in styles for impact. So as a high ticket closer, you must be able to blend. Everybody type blending. You must be able to blend your style for impact. So, and that will depends on the type of client you meet at different, different closing, right? If you are in a sales, you should be dynamic in your approach. Don't say, oh, because storytelling is for insurance and that is what I'm going to be using. No. Or maybe you say, okay, assertive is actually for coaching and this is what I'm going. No. Different client has different way of accepting things. So you should be able to blend your styles. Now, establish needs through questions. So when you want to start, you start with consultative, right? You establish needs through questions. For example, ask questions. See, the best way to close high ticket closer, especially high ticket closer, is to ask question. Ask the question. The more question you ask, the more it give you room, okay, to understand their pain point. Because what you are trying to do is you are trying to solve a problem. But if you don't understand their pain point, there's no problem for you to solve. So ask question. Then once you ask question, you shift to directive now. Present clear solutions with confidence. Now, you ask question, okay, what's your income? What type of house are you looking for? What type of mortgage are you looking for? I'm looking for variable, I'm looking for fixed, your budget and all of that. You make sure that you present the solutions to them with confidence. You talk like an expert. That's what I'm trying to say here. You talk like an expert. Don't talk as if I'm not sure, or I think no. This is the best option. See, why people want to deal with consultants, with specialists, is because they feel that they understand more than somebody who is not a specialist in that area. Think about a gynecologist to a family physician, or a surgeon to a family physician. Of course, a family physician can do little bit. Of course, they will know everything, but those that specializes in a certain area, they have more knowledge. They have in-depth knowledge of that particular field, as opposed to those that are not specialized in that field. Same for other client too. We have some agent that specializes in commercial real estate. We have some mortgage advisor that specializes in commercial mortgage solution. So different clients, different solutions. If your client is coming from the angle of commercial real estate, or maybe or depend like whatever he is actually looking for, you should be able to present, you should be able to recommend the best product to them. And you just have to understand your niche and position yourself to make sure you solve that particular problem. Now, close with story, reinforce with emotional connection. So you can see, you start with consultative, you ask question, ask question, ask question, ask question. Okay, based on all these questions right now, based on what you presented to me, I can clearly tell that this is the best solutions that fit your needs. The client would actually accept what you are saying, because you have actually presented different options and you understand the pain point. And you now tell them, look, the client of mine that did not take action, they ended up regret at the end of the day. Why? Maybe they delay, or maybe they did not take the right action. So, like, just make sure that you connect a story for people, or for some of the people that did not take actions when you present that solutions to them. That will resonate with them. Right. So high ticket closing can be very sweet if you understand different dynamics, different styles of closing. And I tell you, if you are in this business, if you are in a sales and you don't understand all this code, trust me, you'll be struggling. I've seen a lot of agents, right? They just present. A client come to you and the next thing you started presenting, you won't close. You don't need to do that. Ask question. Ask question first, right? In fact, some presentation that you are doing, you are not even supposed to do any presentation. Imagine somebody come to you, right? Somebody, like for example, you are selling insurance. You meet a client, he does not even have a status, right? He does not have any form of status, maybe a visitors. And the next thing, you start presenting. After the presentation, you now start asking question. The person will be like, no, I'm still looking, I'm a visitor. Why must you even go ahead and present in the first place? So what am I trying to say, right? You must understand all this code for you to be able to close high ticket, right? Ask question. Once you ask question, shift to directive, right? Present clear solutions with confidence. Don't sell because you want to make commission. Don't sell because this product is what I have and as such the client must have it. It doesn't work that way. Don't sell because A, this is what I sell to A and they like it, and of course B must like it. It doesn't work that way. Different clients with different needs, right? They have different unique needs, and you must be able to match your solutions to their needs, right? And you have to talk like an expert. Don't just go to them and start talking and you be like, I think, I'm not sure. Those language, see, it kind of, puts some clients to They'll be like, why am I in this presentation if I'm talking to somebody who is not ready, who does not even have the wherewithal to solve my problem? So you must understand all of this. Now, let's look at objection and closing styles. Every type objection, objections and closing styles. So we are still going to talk about objection handling. In my upcoming presentations, I will let you guys know when I'll be doing that. Objection and closing style. Let's look at the consultative response. Now, this is an example of the questions that probably might come up now. What will help you feel more confident today? Now, this is the kind of question you can ask to uncover true concerns or create collaborative solutions. What will help you feel more confident today? They will tell you, they will begin to tell you the real things that will make them to be confident. Oh, wow. Now, today, what I'm looking for today is that I've seen so many people, this country is crazy, and I don't want to live that kind of lifestyle. I need something that will help me to cover my retirement. I need something that will help me to put food on the table for my family in case I couldn't work. I need, see, once they are saying it, now you now create a collaborative solutions that will meet their needs. Because what are they looking for? They're looking for something that will solve their problem, not your problem, not another person's problem. Now, directive response. You've seen the value. Let's make it official. No, so once you present it, now you have seen this house, right? Everything is okay, right? You love the living room, you love everything, you love the location. Now, let's make it official. Refocus on benefit. Now, this place is very close to Highway 41. This is very close to schools. This neighborhood is very okay for good to raise children and all of that. Now, create momentum. Let the client feel that this is the best time for me to take action. Because if you don't do that, chances that you're going to do everything possible, but once you don't refocus on the benefits when you are closing, right, it will be like I'm going to get back to you, or I think I'm going to think about it, or I want to also try to get some quotes from other sales agent and all of that. But when you refocus on the benefit, because you must have a certain criteria or something that the client really want, and you emphasize that over and over, you now re-emphasize the benefit to create momentum. Storytelling response. Let me tell you what happened when a client waited. No, this is actually good for client that is trying to wait to take action. It's really good for insurance, right? People really want to delay. I've seen it most times, right? When you present client to 90% of them will probably tell you, I'm going to get back to you. Most times, some of them will not get back to you, right? But okay, fine. I understand. I totally understand that you may not be able to take that decision today. But let me tell you one thing, right? I have a client. I presented to him. He said, I'm going to get back to you the following week or next day or whatever, only for me to get to know that the client had a stroke and he could not get it again. Like, really? Yeah. So your insurability is not guaranteed. Anything can happen. So this is the best time for you to take action. Now, you have actually create an urgency into that particular client mind. Even if the client does not take action that time, when he leave that place, he will still remember. So if I did not do the needful, anything can happen. We have seen a client, present to them, feel I will think about it. They get on the road and they had an accident, and from there they pass. It happens. So I'm not saying you should not think about it, but here is the consequences of not taking immediate action. And this is what happened to ABC of my client that didn't do the at that time. So what you are trying to do is you are creating, an urgency. Closing in life insurance. Everybody say closing in life insurance. Start with story. Build trust to real client example. I've said that many, many, many times again. If you are selling insurance, especially high ticket client, this is one of the best strategies that you can use. Start with stories, right? Shift to consultation. Identify exact coverage needs, right? Now, once you tell a story, okay, the next thing is that you now shift to consultation. Now let's look at what you can your budget. You have identified the budget, you understand everything. No, okay, based on the budget, this is what your family can get in terms of legacy. This is what you can get in terms of retirement planning. This is what you can get in terms of uh you know wealth buildings and all of that. Make sure, okay, you identify the exact amount of coverage that cover their needs. Because why? What you are trying to do is that you are matching the client's needs to your expertise, to your recommendation. It must match. If at any time you cannot meet all the needs, right, make sure you put it in your recommendation based on the client budget, based on what we discussed today. This is what the client can afford. Well, we're going to continue to review as we move forward. Once your finances improve, we're going to increase it. Thank you. So this is the way. This is how you can actually quickly close. Use directive when urgent. Guide decision when time or health factor exists. Now, for example, now you can use a story. I have a client who maybe for some reason did not take actions. As at the time we are doing the trying to put the protection in, the client is healthy, but coming back maybe following month, following year, the client is not, the insurability change, you could not get it again, and this is the consequences of waiting, right? This is the cost of that is what we call the cost of waiting. Let them know the cost of everybody type cost of waiting. If the more you wait, the more it costs you. So take action now, but they will not take that action until you guide them to take the action. Now, let's look at the closing in real estate. We're going to be looking at different closing styles, different industry, because this is not about life insurance trading. This is not about real estate. We are talking about high ticket closing. In real estate, create urgency. This neighborhood is moving very fast. You can see this neighborhood is moving fast. You can see everybody is just buying their houses. So this is time for you to buy. Now, narrow choices. Present just 2 to 3 best options. Now, present 2, 3 options to them, right? Out of these 3 options, based on what you have discussed so far, based on your needs, this is what will fit your needs. Don't say I think or I'm not sure. Don't do that, right? Be directive closing. This omit your must have. Now, this means that everything you need is in this house. Everything you discuss with me is in this house. So this is the best time for you to take action. Now, simplify this one. Let's secure your dream home today. See, when you present everything, if you don't create a call to action of what you really want them to do, you are not going to close. We're talking about high ticket closing right now. See, they have money. Think about they have the money. They're only looking for somebody that will guide them to take action. Everybody type, they have money. They have money. They're only looking for a client, an expert that will guide them to take action. Let's look at the closing in mortgage sales, right? Now, in mortgage, we're going to look at the rate comparison. Our 4.5% fixed rate client, 30% versus the 5.5 industry coverage, industry average is probably going to save you about $437 monthly on $350,000 mortgage. Now, what you are trying to present to them is that our rate is much, much cheaper, give you savings of X amount of money, because you have to present it in such a way that this is much cheaper than if they go elsewhere, right? Now, application time. Now, use directive close here. Our 15-minute digital application provides same-day pre-approval without paperwork. So you can see that in this case, we are using different strategies to close here. We are not saying that, because mortgage closing is more of, directive sales, we have to be using directive. No, different strategies with different approach, right? You probably might start with story and come with directive, and close with story. So you must be dynamic when it comes to closing. Don't just be rigid and say because insurance is storytelling, and as such I will be using storytelling every time, every stage of my presentation. It doesn't work that way, right? Now, lifetime saving. Now, share how the Johnson save 120K by switching from 30 years to 15-year fixed mortgage, cutting 7 years off their loans, and building equity faster. Now, see, when you present your solutions to them with facts, with numbers, it gives them clarity. Because if they are confused, they don't know what to do, you need to tell them this is what you will gain at the end of the day. If a client tell me that, okay, if you do this, this will save you XYZ amount of money in so, I'm going to take action. As opposed to somebody say, okay, our rate is 4.5, it's cheaper than 5.5. In what way? Can you demonstrate that to me? How it makes sense to me to go with you than for me to go to another mortgage agent? So we are actually looking at the way to guide to take action. Now, closing in coaching. Now, share transformation. These are, if they are emotional about, share transformation story showing client success. Sarah invested in herself, triple her income, and reduce her working hour within 6 months. If they are trying to, if they don't want to take action immediately, these are some of the ways you can do. Now, logical bias, present data-driven result. Client average is 3.2, return on investment with 1 year, with 87% reporting better work-life balance. Now, if you see a logical buyer, you can present this type of strategies to them. Now, resistant client, use directive closing. You are losing $5,000 monthly in mixed opportunity. Let's start today and capture the value. See, if you don't put it in this way, it will be very difficult for them to take action. Now, if they are resistant clients, right? Use directive closing. You are losing $5,000 monthly. Okay, I've said that before. Now, relationship focus. Highlight support. Unlimited email access between weekly sessions plus private community of successful clients supporting each other. Now, don't just let them know that, oh, if you join my coaching, I want to do this, then you're your own. No, demonstrate ongoing support to them. Like, no, we have community that support each other. Even after everything, we have community that you can join. You share your stories, people that will support you in in your career. So we are here to guide you. That's what we are trying, because if you don't create that relationship focus in day one, they probably might say, once I finish my coaching, what is in it for me again? If I don't have any support again, I'll be left, I will start struggling. So you don't want to do that, right? Don't worry, we'll continue to guide you until you get better. Now, practice, make profitable. Now, at the end of everything, right, don't think that knowing all of these is enough for you to close in high ticket sales. Number one, okay, you must make sure you do all of this. Master all three closing styles through focused practice. Record yourself, role play, objection, and seek mentor feedback. One of the things that a lot of us don't want to do is that we don't have mentors. If you don't, a mentor is somebody who will guide you to quickly get to where you want to be. It's not as if they will do it for you, but where you are going, they've been there, and so they understand the terrain, they understand all the things that you face, so they will simplify things for you. It will make your journey much more faster than for you to struggling on your own. Okay, you have to do that. Focus training, regular practice, all three styles is the key to sales mastery and increase profit. So all these three styles, you must master everything, right? Wherever industry you find yourself, whether you're in mortgage, in coaching, in real estate, in insurance, you must understand the three styles, because you must be able to blend each type to different client styles. Adaptability. Top performer, spend 3 to 5 hours weekly practicing transition between consultative questions, directive statement, and story to adapt to any client. You must practice, 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 practice. If you want to be very, very successful, you must develop the act of practicing. And I want to say thank you so much for listening. Uh, we have a couple of minutes more. If you have any question here, you can just put it on the chat box so that we can look into that. Once again, I want to thank you for joining. If you are looking to more training, or you are looking to uh, coaching, you are struggling in your career, all right, please, you can scan this QR code and let's book maybe 20-30 minute call to walk you through and see the areas you are struggling with and see how we can actually mentor you to get to where you are going to. I tell you, it is easier to make $1 million than to make $100,000. Let me put it this way: it is easier to make $1 million than to make $100,000 if you are ready to learn. All right, you must be ready to learn. Some of us don't want to learn. You don't want to attend webinars, you don't want to pay, you don't want to attend coaching training sessions. It is very difficult for you to scale, right? So uh if you want to more coaching session, you can scan this QR code and let's connect. I'm going to show you what and how to close and how to run your business in any industry. I'm talking of any industry, whether you are in real estate, whether you are in mortgage, whether you are in um, um, finance, any industry whatsoever. You can let's connect so that we can guide you through. So let me check here if you have any question. Okay, all right, no question. So I want to say thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking on IFA strategies for medical professionals. So it's going to be a very powerful session again tomorrow, same time tomorrow. Um, let's connect. Let me show you how the language of a medical professional, how you can speak to them in order for them to close them, because you are if you are if you are dealing with high ticket client, right, medical professionals, business owners, they are not really buying insurance, right? What they are buying is more than insurance, but there is a way you can present it to them that will make a lot of sense to them. So we'll be sharing the IFA strategies tomorrow, how you can borrow from yourself. So join me same time tomorrow. uh Once again, thank you so much for joining. Any question here? Right, no question. Okay. um I want to say thank you once again for joining. So see you tomorrow, same time. God bless and good night, everyone. Bye.